Welcome, and welcome to the Crafty Apothecary Garden. Hi, I'm Amanda, and I'm growing in Zone 8A, and I'm growing hydroponically and vertically with green stalks and in some raised beds. How's everyone doing today? Here in Atlanta, it's cold. We have freezing rain. We're under a freeze warning. The outdoor garden is pretty much kind of it was frozen earlier this morning when I looked at it, and it's probably thawed out just a tiny bit, but it's gonna refreeze because the temperatures are gonna be dropping tonight. So as far as the indoor gardening, everything is producing well. We've had lots of growth, but nothing much has changed from last week, except for I did harvest a few things. And check out my shorts so you can see the things that I harvested. And also today I'm going to be showing you that I did a transplant of my Roma tomato. And I put that in my Vigo garden that's indoors. And then also I'm going to bring you along with my seed starting of my flowers. I plan on getting the new GreenStalk, this pink, strawberry pink, and I want to do it full of nothing but flowers. So that's what I'm gonna be starting today, so they can have some growth by the time I'm ready to actually plant them and hopefully get some spring blooms. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, everybody, we're over here at this garden. We're gonna just only remove our Roma tomato here. As you can see, it's gotten quite big. These two are my Tiny Tim's cherry tomatoes, so this is their permanent home. But let's go ahead and pull this out so you can see. Look at that root system there. It's nice and long. Let me keep pulling here. All right. So we have that. We're going to cover this hole back up over here. So we don't want any light to get in, to keep the light out, and to keep from algae developing. All right, you can see I've already prepared the soil. Actually, the soil has been sitting here for a while. So I made this soil with the cocoa core, some vermiculite, some perlite, some worm castings, and some biochar. And what I'm going to do now is going to add, what am I going to add here? I'm going to add some neem seed meal, and I'm going to add some kelp meal. I'm going to just lay this right here so I can add that little bit in there, and then we'll get that planted. So I guess I don't want to add too much. Then I'm gonna make sure I mix that in good. So I'm hoping that this Roma does good. You see, I also hooked up my grow lights here. Cause like I said, I'm actually want to keep this one inside to see how well it does. Cause if I can avoid from planting anything outside and not have to deal with the pests during the summer, then that's exactly what I am going to do. So I want to try to have as many things inside as I can to not have to really deal with the pressure. And then as far as what's going outside, um, some things I can't grow enough of to grow inside. It just won't produce enough food with the amount of space that I have indoors. So that's fine. So we got that all mixed in. Just go ahead and make a little hole here for that. Let me see. I guess I'm gonna try to take this out, but I don't want to disturb these roots. Let's see if I can do this without disturbing the roots too much. I don't think I can. Sometimes if I can't, I probably should have had already taken this out, but I had really wanted it to get bigger. So we have that issue going on. But let's see here if I can get this untangled some to pull it completely out. If I can't, then I am going to plant the whole pod, and I'm not going to even worry about it because it'll still be fine. It'll still grow long, so I'm not going to worry. Let me see. No, I'm not going to worry about it. I do not want to damage these roots, so we're going to leave this just like it is and plant these roots all the way in here. Let's see. Bury that enough. All right, that should be good right there. I'm going to get that watered in, and hey, that's going to be it. So hopefully this survives. If not, we'll start the process all over again. All right, so much for that. Let's get this water over here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and water this in this way, and then I'm going to add the water since this is a self-watering container. Just make sure this gets really good and wet. And then I go back and fill this up all the way with water to make sure that it has the proper amount of water in there. All right. So that is my first seedling transplanted for the indoor garden. And I made a little bit of mess here, but that's okay. I have wood floor, so that's easy to get up. All right. I hope you enjoyed this little clip here about how I transferred from the hydroponics to the to soil. And like I said, we're going to be growing this indoors under the grow lights in soil. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get started. But first, I'm going to show you what I plan on planting so you can see what I have. The first thing that I'm going to plant is this echinacea. It's a dwarf blend. It's a dwarf one. So that's going to be my first thing that I'm going to plant. And I got to keep these in order. I'm going to do another echinacea, this pale purple. I'm going to put that in the GreenStalk. Then I want to do snapdragons. These are just kind of short. Well, these are a little tall. They say 28 to 30 inches, but we're going to plant them anyway. We're going to do that one. And then we got some lavender here. We got some yarrow. I saw this one from another gardener, this alyssum, the tiny Tim. I'm going to go ahead and do that one. We have some petunias, and I don't know if these two petunias are the same, but we're going to plant both of them. Here's the first one. What is this? It's called Petite Charmer Blend. And then I am going to do this blend right here. I think I still got some seeds in here. Yeah, I got a few seeds in there. And then I'm gonna do some Johnny Jump Ups, these violas, and then I'm gonna do these pansies, and then I'm gonna do some African daisies right there. Must do sunflowers. So I'm gonna do this. This is supposed to be almost like a teddy bear sunflower. We'll do that one. And then I am going to do these zinnias. These supposed to be kind of small. They don't get that tall. It says from 10 to 15 inches in height. So I'm gonna do those. And then I'm gonna do these nasturtiums. Cannot pronounce that word. And then I'm gonna do another one right here. These are supposed to be kind of small also, so this should be good for the GreenStalk. And then last but not least, I'm gonna do some rosemary. Actually, this rosemary is gonna go in another garden, but I know it takes a while for rosemary to grow, so I wanted to go ahead and get this one started now. And then probably next week, I'm gonna go ahead and plant all my other flowers that I plan on doing. So I'll bring you along on that. So for the most part, I have everything already situated and set up. I have my gardens here, as you can see, right here, and I have everything. Um, the water is already in here. Here are the pods. So I'm going to go ahead and put the pods in there. And then I got to go back and look at my list to make sure, because I just put these things out of order when I was telling y'all. So I'm going to make sure I put them back in order. So let's go ahead. I'm going to figure out what's the first thing I need to do, and then we'll do that. Also, what I did was I wrote down everything so I could keep up with it, and I numbered these over here, and these numbers are going to match what I have over here. And actually, both trays of the hydroponics garden are going to be planted exactly the same, so I won't be confused about what did I plant in which tray. So if I plant them the same, I don't have to worry about it. So the first thing we're going to plant is going to be our lavender. I had to cold stratify these. I did put these in the refrigerator for about a couple of weeks here, so I could so hopefully they are germinate on the first time, because lavender is one of those things that I know that is hard to germinate. These seeds are very little. I'm gonna try to show you if I can, see if you can see them. You see how tiny they are. I don't need that many. I'm not even sure, but I'm going to drop more than one in here. And I need to plant, how many of these? I need to plant 4 of these. So let's go ahead and what we do. All I do is just take them, and you see the little hole. I just drop the seeds down in there and just place it on in there. I'm going to probably put like 4 seeds each in here. And then hopefully, like I said, those will germinate and I won't have any problems. So we got that one in there. And let's go ahead and get the next one done. Got 4. Drop those up. I drop 1. Pick up the other one. Let's get that in there. And then I need to put 2 over here in the other tray. So I'm over here just dropping seeds. But I'm not going to have y'all sit here and watch me just plant seeds, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get everything planted, and then I'll come back and show you the next part that I'm going to do, and how I get those on started, and show you the little humidity domes that I have for these, and stick them under the lights, and then we'll just keep progress to see how they're doing. All right, here are my last 5. What I'm going to be planting, this is going to be my rosemary, and my goal for this year is I want to plant a lot of rosemary, so hopefully all of these germinate. All right, y'all, everything has been put in a all the seeds have been put in the pot and into the arrow garden, and I found these little communion cups to help with to create like a humidity dome. So these are just the perfect little size for this to go over these to keep the to help with the germination process. So I'm gonna do that. Actually, I'm gonna put these back on their base, and then I'm gonna put that on there. Then I'll show you the final product, what it looks like after planting. All right, y'all, we got everything set up now. We have the little communion cups, aka slash humidity dome set up over here. Everything is plugged in. And now we just have to wait to see what all will germinate. And hopefully everything germinates on the first time so I don't have to replant anything. But this is how I like to start my seeds for the outdoor garden. And as you know, this is basically still how we start everything in the indoor garden. All right, everybody, that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed our video of starting our seeds for the outdoor garden, for our flower garden to go this coming when we do the pink strawberry GreenStalk. Might be glad when they release that, and that won't be released until next month. And we also, I hope you enjoy showing how I transplanted from um, the hydroponic garden to soil in the Vago garden. So if you did, please like, share, subscribe, and comment because I love to hear your feedback. Until then, until next time, friends, live, laugh, love, grow. Bye.